Hi students, today we are going to be talking about what artists can do to make objects look like they're here, near, and far. Sometimes in our art we want things to look close to us, sometimes we want things to look far from us. When we do this, it's called perspective, and there are some techniques and tricks artists use. Right now you're looking at a picture and I want you to think about which ball looks closest to you. Is it ball 1, ball 2, or ball 3? Which one looks like it's the closest to here? I expect all of you think that ball 1 looks closest to here, ball 2 looks near, and ball 3 looks far. Perspective is an art word for making something look like it is near or far, even if you're drawing it on a flat page or painting it on a flat canvas. Perspective is the thing that helps us know what is near and far, and that can make our art look more interesting and also more realistic. Today we're going to look at art by Bruce Bodden, and we are going to look for tricks this artist has used to help us know what is near and far, and we can use those same techniques in our art. This painting is called Farmland with Cows and Hills. My question for you is, which cow looks near and which cow looks far? And what's different about those cows that makes some look near and one look far? Think about, are all those cows exactly the same size? That might be the key. Size is one of the major visual cues artists use to make things look nearer or farther. A bigger thing will look nearer, especially if we know that it's something that should be the same size. For instance, if we see two trees drawn and one looks huge and one looks small, the big one looks nearer, the small one looks farther. Now look at this picture. I want you to concentrate on the houses in this picture. Which house looks near, and maybe which houses look a little ways away and which look far. And as you look at the houses, think about how much of the house you can see. If you can see the whole house, or if you can only see part of the house, if there are things perhaps in front of the houses. And what does that tell you about what is near and what is far in art? When you can't see all of something, it's said to be overlapping. The thing that is in front, you can usually see all or most of that thing, but when something's farther away or behind something, it's blocked and we can't see it all. So drawing things that overlap with each other is part of how artists make things look near and far. In this picture of a horse farm, when you look at which horse looks near and which horse looks far, I want you to think about which horse has more intense colors. Does the horse that looks near have more bright and intense colors? Or does the horse that looks far look brighter? Using intense colors is another way artists can make things look nearer. Things that have more intense colors generally look nearer. Also, if the colors are warmer, they will look nearer. Whereas if they're a little bluer or paler, it will help them look farther if they're just even a little more muted. So that's another technique artists have in their toolboxes to make things look near and far. Next, we're going to look at a painting called Sailboats. And we've talked about size differences, and we definitely see some small boats, and that helps them look far, and one big boat, and that helps it look nearer. But there's something else I want you to look for in this picture when you think about which boat looks near and which boats look far. See where they're located on the page. Which ones are closest to the bottom of the page? The ones that look bigger or the ones that look smaller? Position is another thing artists can use to help people know if things are going to look near or far. When things are closer to us, they usually are placed lower in the painting or the page. When they're farther from us, they're higher on the page or closer to what's called the horizon line. And that's another part of how we tell near and far when we're looking both in real life and in paintings. In this painting, I want you to focus on which bushes or which plants look like they're near to you and which ones look like they're far. And we've already talked about a lot of ways we can see this, but this time as you look at what looks near and what looks far, I want you to look at which things have more details. Should we be seeing more details on things that are close to us, or should we be able to see more details on things that are really far? Of course, it's reasonable that we're going to see all the detail on things that are close to us. So in our art, if we show more details on something, our viewers will think it looks closer, whereas if we make it kind of hard to see, maybe leave it blurry and don't put all the detail, it will look far. So detail is another tool for the artist to use to make things look nearer and farther. So in these balls here, the ball that's closer is showing a little shine and highlight. That's more detail. That makes it look nearer, whereas the light blue ball looks farther. So we've looked at a lot of tools for making things look near and far today. Remember that we can use size. If we want something to look nearer, we draw it larger. We can use overlapping. If we want something to look farther, we can hide part of it behind something so that we can't see it. We can use color. Things with paler colors, less intense colors, look far. We can use position. Things that are lower on the page are going to look nearer. Things that are higher or nearer the horizon are going to look farther. And then we can use details. The more little details we put that we can see, the nearer a thing will look to us. That's the end of our lesson on perspective for today. I hope you've learned a lot that you can use to make your art look more interesting and give your art more depth. And I hope you've also enjoyed getting to see the work of artist Bruce Bodden. I recently discovered his work and I think it's just fun and whimsical and enchanting. Now I would like to give you an artistic challenge. For students who are in class with me this week, many of them will be drawing, or painting actually, trees on hills and using all of the techniques we learned to make some of the trees look near and some look far. If you're doing this lesson in quarantine or on your own at a later time, I want you to try to make a drawing where some things look near and some look far on your own. It doesn't have to be winter trees for that. You can use any objects you want to.